Join the movement. Go all electric with Pure Electric.
Hi everyone, we are Katharina and Mark Jervis, the owners of this sustainable all-electric hempcrete house in Victoria. It is great to have the opportunity to have our house featured on Sustainable House Day. Before we start the presentation, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we live, the Gunditjmara people, and pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Here are the people who were mainly involved in the design and build, although there are many others not mentioned here. We ourselves were very fortunate, thanks to Paul the builder and David of Southern Hemp, to be able to participate in many of the aspects of the building, as were a large group of wonderful volunteers and friends who assisted with the hempcrete walls. Firstly, we wanted a house that was a sustainable build in terms of the materials used, but also, more importantly, that it was a very efficient house to operate. And after a year and a half, having lived in the house, we are very happy with the way it has performed. Secondly, we wanted a house that could be either a large 3-bedroom family home or a home for two plus a self-contained apartment. We wanted the apartment in order to provide accommodation plus an income for us in our retirement. We wanted the apartment as a place for friends and relatives to stay also, and possibly at a later stage of our lives to have live-in carers. Due to the beautiful views that we have to our south, we realized that we were on such a sloping site, we would need to go up 1 story to get maximum advantage of the views to the south. This also enhanced our views to the north, which is back over the town of Koroit and as far out as the Grampians. We wanted balconies on the south to be able to enjoy the southern views, and luckily, during the summer, the predominant wind is northerly at this site. This slide just shows the offset design for privacy for ourselves and our guests, and the ease in which it can function as a family home. For low maintenance, we will let all external timber grey off. The render has not been painted, but can be with a breathable paint if required later on. On all the internal wood, we used Osmo oil, which is low maintenance also. This slide shows the reasons why we chose hempcrete. We have been very happy with this choice of material. The cost of the fully completed and rendered hempcrete walls, including the timber cladding, came to 460 Australian dollars per square metre. We chose to render both the outside and inside of the hempcrete walls. The outside render is definitely required for weatherproofing, and we chose render for the inside to prevent dust collection and to give the aesthetics of a textured, lived-in and warm environment. We used different coloured sands for inside and outside for a slightly different colour. Mark constructed sandstone beds to make the render and is shown in the top right-hand corner of this slide. These beds are now raised garden beds and are very productive. A concrete floor was chosen for ease and thermal mass and has proved thermally effective even with the travertine tiles on top. The upper story floor is of insulated posi struts with engineered floorboards. We wanted to visually break up the front of the house and use silver top ash cladding in order to achieve this. The triple-glazed windows from ThermoSmart doors and windows were chosen throughout the house and were only 10% dearer than double-glazed. This was at the time of the build. As we wanted to ensure thermal and acoustic efficiency on the southern road side of the house, we opted to go for triple glazing. We were keen to go all electric and have 6.6 kilowatts of solar on one roof, which meets most of our needs. We have put the wiring in for a second set of panels on the other roof if needed. That would allow us to go off-grid if required. We've been assessing whether to get a battery, but we were hoping that vehicle-to-home and vehicle-to-grid technology would be adopted soon, but it's taken longer than we'd hoped. Our electric vehicle use has reduced our household running costs significantly. The split systems were chosen for a conventional build and have proved to be oversized for us, as they only need to be used for a short period of time. Since buying this property 10 years ago, we have spent a long time in the garden transforming an empty bare paddock into a productive garden. We initially had 9 neighbours with different fences, so we planted clumping bamboo around the perimeter to provide a continuous green screen and shelter for the future plants in our garden. We have planted green islands, which are growing larger as we plant more and reduce grass cover. We initially planted feature trees and have slowly been putting in the understory, trying to maintain function in all we plant. Also, during that 10 years, we moved and renovated one house on the property and then built the current one we are talking about and showing you now. We needed to subdivide the property and have sold the initial house we moved to the site, leaving us with a manageable 3,900 metres square of rich volcanic soil, 4 neighbours, and a beautiful, comfortable and sustainable home. Here is a short video commissioned by Live Architecture and shows different facets of the completed house. Thank you.